Hi everyone, you've reached Natural Vibrations, and I'm Ritnika. And today I wanted to jump on and talk to you about this amazing book that I found. I'm sure some of you have already read it. It's a pretty old book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? I'm actually reading this currently, and I have to tell you, it is absolutely amazing. And I think I always say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I feel like this book came to me at the perfect opportunity because I am going through major changes in my life. And let me just give you a little bit of gist on this book because it's a quick read. Look at that. It's like I'm already more than halfway through, and it's been only 20 minutes. What this book is talking about is talking about these four individuals. There are two mice, Sniff and Scurry, and there are two little people who are basically like you and me, Hem and Haw. And they're in this maze, and their job is to go look for cheese because that's what it is. And every day they're going through the maze and they're finding, and everybody's doing their thing. Obviously, Sniff and Scurry, one is sniffing out the cheese and the other one is running, and going really quickly for it. While the Hem and Haw are using more cognitive thinking and planning and trying to find cheese. Eventually, they find a cheese station C. And what they do is they basically go there every day to have some cheese and enjoy the day. So every morning they all leave their home, and Sniff and Scurry basically get to the cheese station, but they keep their shoes tied across their neck because anytime they might have to run back, eat their cheese, enjoy it, and then leave. Hem and Haw sort of start, eventually getting used to the idea of having cheese. And now in this book, cheese can represent anything in life, whether it's your finances, your money, your love relationships, whatever. They get used to having cheese in their life. And they start getting up a bit later every day. They go and they sort of make themselves at home. They, spend, because they're getting used to the idea of always having cheese there, you know? And this happens every day. Now, Sniff and Scurry are keeping an eye on the cheese. They're always on that, okay, I'm ready to leave, anything can go wrong kind of mentality because they're not too attached to the cheese, all right? They understand that that cheese can disappear at any time. And they start noticing when the cheese is sort of, dwindling. Ham and Haw are just sort of getting very, proud of their cheese. They start telling people about it. They're like, look at my lovely cheese. Look how much I have. They start getting arrogant about it. They start, really enjoying it. They start putting up all these, beautiful sayings around it just because, this is my home. I can show it off. This is what I have. This is what I'm going to always have. I've worked hard for it, etc. One day they all come to their, one day obviously Sniff and Scurry come to the cheese station earlier because they always get up early and they, come there. And they see that someone has moved the cheese. There is no more cheese. So what they do, their shoes are ready. They put on their shoes and they start going back into the maze and they start looking for more cheese. All right. Eventually, when Hem and Haw get to the cheese station and see that there's no cheese, they start freaking out, and what do you call it? Hem starts sort of getting all upset and, getting angry as why is this gone? What's happening? Who stole my cheese? Who moved my cheese? Blah, blah, blah. And, he starts like, this is not fair. I worked hard for it. Why did someone take it away? And, why should I, do anything? So basically, they start getting upset, they start getting angry, and they sit and wait around for someone to return their cheese. And time goes by and they come back every day and there's no cheese, all right? And but they don't want to do anything different because they're like, this is the cheese I have worked hard for, and it's not my fault that the cheese is gone and somebody else caused it to go, so I want my cheese back and I'm going to wait around till someone gets it back. Going back into the maze is difficult, is unknown, is scary. We don't know what's going to happen, but this is a place where we know we deserve our cheese and it will come back. We'll just keep at it. And that's where they spend most of their time. Okay, and obviously they go through different emotions. One of them starts getting a bit more like, maybe we should enter, venture out and see what else happens. And the first one is like, no, I don't want to. It's, this is what it is. So it basically talks about stuff like that and then goes into the lessons they learned. eventually, and I don't want to give away most of the book because I really want you guys to read it, and they have beautiful little lessons here, is that eventually Haw, which is one of the, the little people, he's like, look, we're not gonna find anything there, because Hem is like getting tools to break down the wall, thinking someone's hidden the cheese behind the wall, and they put a lot of effort into looking for the cheese which is over there, but it actually isn't, right? And at the end of the day, Haw realizes that there is productivity and then there's activity. Are you doing things just for the heck of it, and are you doing the same thing over and over again hoping to get a different result, or are you actually doing something that is productive? So Haw is like, you know what, I'm going to go hunt for my shoes because it's been, hidden somewhere. And he's like, look, I need to venture out and find something, and you should come. But Ham is too afraid. So Haw is like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go, blah blah blah. And then he finally ventures into the maze, and he's afraid. Okay, and one of the first things he asks himself, which I love, is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? All right, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And that is the biggest lesson that I found in this book so far. All right? What would you do if you weren't afraid? And I think, I apologize for the noise. People are walking around my house, but what would you do if you weren't afraid? And it goes into many other lessons, and I really want you guys to read this book. It's really quick, you can read it on the pot. But what I loved about this was, what would you do if you weren't afraid? How many things have we not tried? How many times have we not done something different because we are afraid? So you have got to ask yourself, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? What would you do if there was no fear? Would your life be the same? Would you be doing exactly what you're doing right now? Would you be living the same life that you're living right now? Would you be doing the same job, being with the same person, being in a marriage, a relationship, having children, whatever it is? I'm not, not judging or anything. But ask yourself, are you doing what you're doing because you truly want to do it, or are you afraid to do something different? And yes, there are a lot more lessons, so please do read this book. I'm not getting a commission out of this book or anything, but I just thought it was amazing, amazing read, and I'm going to finish it, and I might do a little program on it. But for me, this was the biggest thing. What would you do if you weren't afraid? All right, and this is a lesson. This is a statement I want to leave you guys with, and I want you guys to think over it. And I'm thinking about it too. And just ask yourself, what would you do if you weren't afraid? All right, take care. Bye.